Well, hey everybody. I'd like to talk to you, if I may, about the Cohen Milstein class action lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors and Company. That lady is booking it. She does not need 2 cups of coffee. She's already caffeinated. So, in a nutshell, and I'd like to just preface this commentary by saying the defense for realtors is a good defense. I think it's the defense they're presenting is technically correct, but Sherman antitrust violations can be by design or they can be inadvertent. And so I'm going to explain why I think the National Association of Realtors is in trouble. Because this is going to a jury trial, and I don't think there's going to be a jury in the world that doesn't look at all this evidence and go, look, whether this is poor design or it's poor by design, this is amounting to tens and tens of billions of dollars a year in excess commissions paid by virtue of this arrangement. And so we're going to need to do something about this arrangement. What is the arrangement? The arrangement is that when you want to list your house for sale, the buyer agents, your buyer's agent, whom is representing your buyer, whose fiduciary duty is owed to the buyer, is receiving compensation from your equity and not the buyer. So the big question, the big stink is, what the hell? Why do I, the homeowner, have to pay my buyer's agent? Why are they receiving compensation from my equity? If they want a buyer agent, if they want representation, they can go and they can hire a buyer agent and they can pay that agent out of their own pocket. And that is, after all, how a free market operates. Because if you're a buyer agent who does a good job, you make more money. If you're a buyer agent who does a worse job, you make less money. But what is the empirical reality, folks, about the buyer agent? They don't make less than 2.5%. And the buyer has no say in what they're making. It's the listing agent that posts the cooperative compensation on the MLS for everyone to see. And therein already lies some problems. You mean to say I can sort by price? I can steer my buyers to the homes that are paying, a higher fee? Well, of course, that's human nature. That's what's going to happen. So there already is one problem by design. It was a greater problem, pre-internet than today, where it's like, look, a buyer wants to see a home. They're going to want to see that house. They're not going to they can see everything that's available for sale online for free. It's not like you used to walk in, like when we used to walk into a brokerage off of Main Street, sit down and flip through a binder of listings, pre-prepared, pre-selected for you or whatever. No, and this is the 21st century reality underscores the problem of receiving fees in excess of the value of an agent. Because, what is a buyer agent doing today? Look, they're opening the door. They're a glorified locksmith. Then they push some paperwork that they take forever to assemble because everything is operating offline. It's the only industry that hasn't gone digital. They have to scan documents into the computer, convert them to a PDF, send them through email or via DocuSign. It's just grossly inefficient. Every other industry has gotten their shit together except for real estate. So defense realtors, the industry is making is, look, the homeowner's not paying the buyer agent. The listing agent is paying the buyer agent. The homeowner doesn't agree to pay the buyer agent some fee. They agree to pay the listing agent a fee. And that fee is usually 5 and 6%. And then it's the listing agent that decides what to do with those funds. They're going to give half of it to the buyer agent as an incentive, to bring their buyers to the property. What a brilliant marketing move that is, right? But guys, it's a bad faith argument to pretend that even if this is technically accurate, we all know that this arrangement is causing there to be zero flexibility when it comes to what you pay a buyer agent. You want to try and pay your buyer agent less than 2.5%? Look what happens. They tell their buyer that the property isn't available anymore. They sneak their fee into the deal with a cooperative commission agreement that the freaking buyer and seller don't even see. They don't have to sign it. I mean, my gosh, if a jury sees that, because I'm an agent in Pennsylvania. I was rookie of the year at Berkshire Hathaway, and if my buyer said, you know what, I want to give the buyer agent 1% or 1.5%. I have renovated this home top to bottom. It's selling itself, and it's a $700,000 home. I want to give them 1%. They'll get $7,000, and $7,000, is the same as receiving 2.5% of a $280,000 home. So an agent working with a buyer looking between $250 and $300 would be happier than a pig in shit to receive $7,000, right? No problem. But suddenly, if it's a bigger house, they want to get that they want to get that $21,000, okay? And $7,000 ain't enough. They want that $21,000. Forget about how hard they worked. Are the doors twice as hard to open? No. Is there twice as much paperwork? No. They'll say, there's more liability. It's a higher price home. Stop it. Stop it. You know that E&O insurance covers your ass whether the house is worth $200,000 or whether it's worth $1 million. That's what E&O insurance is for. Okay? Look, this arrangement, again, I'm not saying that they did this intentionally, although I'm pretty sure not requiring a buyer and a seller to sign off on a change to the compensation is pretty disingenuous and poor by design. I mean, they're trying to keep people in the dark that way, obviously. We got to do something. Does have to be done about this, because the buyer agent can hold their buyer hostage for the fee they want, not the fee that the free market has determined they deserve. The only way to solve this problem is to pass a law, bring it up to the Supreme Court, and make it illegal. Okay, forget about the technical. The listing agent gives or the homeowner agrees to give the listing agent 6%, and then they divvy it up. And forget all that. A law needs to be passed by the Supreme Court that says a buyer's agent cannot receive compensation from the seller's equity. They can only receive compensation from their buyer, the person whom they have signed an agreement with, a representation agreement with, an agency agreement. So those are my thoughts. And we'll see. The lawsuit's been going on you can go to court, listener, and see what's going on. I mean, between the pandemic and everything, it feels like this has been going on for quite some time, and there's a lot of discovery, a lot of extension filing. That is the nature of class action suits, but it's going to a jury trial. That NAR already tried to file a motion to dismiss. The judge said, "Oh no, I don't think so." So I think it's the sentiment of the consumer and the public at large that realtors don't provide enough value to receive the commissions that they're receiving. There's no correlation between effort and compensation. They get twice as much on a $700,000 home than a $350,000 home, but there isn't necessarily twice as much effort. I mean, so it's just there's no correlation between effort and compensation. Over the last 2 years, we saw home prices climb 40%, so they get a 40% raise without increasing their skills by 40%. Half the agents you run into don't know how to calculate absorption rate. They don't know what price per square foot is. They don't know anything about homes. You can be a punk kid who just gets their real estate license at the age of 22 and do $20 million in sales volume and make more than a cardiothoracic surgeon just because you're really, really good at bothering people and cold calling and door knocking, calling for sale by owners. and then showing up to their house and leaving a little bottle of olive oil with your business card attached to it. Do you know anything about commercial real estate? About valuing income and expense streams? No, doesn't matter. You can make a killing at commercial real estate as a new agent. It's a wacky industry, and it's all propped up by these fixed fees, these fees that just truly aren't negotiable at the end of the day. Oh, you're a seller. You found someone who will list your home for 1%, but then you do the math. They insist that you give the buyer agent 2.5%. So you're still at 3.5%. You're only a 1.5 away from hiring Aunt Susie, who you know and trust. We can't disrupt real estate by only disrupting listing commission. The only way to really disrupt real estate and create a true, open, free, and fair market that responds to the pressures of supply and demand and the forces that operate in every other industry, like being paid in some proportion to your competence. The only way to do that is to unbundle commissions and require buyers decide what they're going to pay their agent should they choose to hire one. So that's about it. And I'm thinking, have I forgot anything? I'm sure that I have, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Sorry for the rambling.